Hello, this is One Black British Woman's Voice, and today I want to talk about the new phenomena described as, or could only be described as, the Monique effect versus the Rhianna effect. Now, as you know, a few months ago, Monique, the Oscar winner and legendary comedian, posted a video calling for the black community to boycott Netflix due to racial and gender bias. Monique's reasoning germinated from the humiliation of being offered $500,000 to perform at a comedy event which would have been filmed and aired by Netflix. And this $500,000 offered was considerably subservient to the $20 million or so Netflix had put on the table for the same services provided by the accompanying performers, David Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Amy Schumer. In reaction to this pay disparity, Monique, in good faith, recorded and posted a protest video asking the black community to boycott Netflix. And if the subsequent fallout from this request was actual radiation, humanity would be in body bags right now, being slung into faraway pits. A superficial glance at black social media's reaction shows that Monique's plea didn't just fall on unsympathetic ears, but unfortunately it had pried open mocking mouths. She even earned herself the ignoble title of Donkey of the Day from a well-known African-American radio station called The Breakfast Club. The criticism of Monique's attempt to level the playfield ranged in content from, let me just remember some of this, $500 is a lot. Really? Because you're on an average paycheck, that was your rationale? 2, again, I'm having to dredge my memory backs up. 2, she hasn't toured or done anything relevant in decades. And despite Monique explaining that she'd been blackballed by Hollywood so she was unable to work, and that she was sick and tired of white agents and managers telling her to hang on because next time she might get a better deal, she seemed to incur only more and more derision. Now, in sharp contrast, there was the aforementioned singer Rhianna and her annihilation of the social media app Snapchat. Snapchat's ad executives, with their sickening brand of white people humor, thought it'd be white people fun to approve an advertisement for another app that thought it'd be just so funny to conceptualize domestic abuse in the form of an app game. The game in question posed a series of questions with the prefix, would you rather? And in Rhianna's case, the advertising app asked, would you rather slap Rhianna or punch Chris Brown? Classy. Who thinks of that? And this, actually, as share price history will retell its share price grandchildren in hushed tones, became Snapchat's biggest mistake. Rhianna extended her manicured fingers and typed out an instruction to her Instagram followers to delete Snapchat from their phones for the treason of making a mockery of domestic violence, namely the domestic violence unleashed upon her by her boyfriend cum assailant Chris Brown in 2009. Her request was received with avowed dedication, and by the end of the week, Snapchat had just under $1 billion wiped from its share market price. Now that, folks, is what I call the Rhianna effect. And how it differs from the Monique effect is that one woman called for a boycott against race and gender equality and got nowhere. And the other woman called for the end of Snapchat and left a social media app punched to the white meat, leaving so many heads rolling you'd think it was the French Revolution all over again. I tried during my research to quantify why the reaction to both women via the black community had differed so greatly. I mean, there was the demographic difference in that Monique had called out specifically to the black community, whereas Rhianna had used her racial and gender diverse mixed followers of 60 million as her clout. And then there was the causes themselves. The world is comprised roughly of 51% of women, so the subject of domestic violence would have had a stronger register. Whereas Monique was protesting against race as well as gender bias, which of course would have put off white supremacist feminists and coons, lowering her target audience significantly. But in the end, the various reasons which would have contributed to this split outcome were essentially vague and transitory for me. At the end of my research, I spied only 2 leading motives which led way ahead of the multiple reasons conjectured. And it was these particular salient reasons which underpinned why Monique garnered so little sympathy, in my opinion. Yes, both causes were commendable, and in the end, Monique's reasons reigned true, when recently it turned out that Tiffany Haddish, a supposedly more relevant entertainer, was given a paltry $800,000 by the same broadcasters, Netflix, to perform a comedy act. However, what I managed to sieve it down to was essentially two influencing factors. One was brand loyalty, and two was not having anything precious to lose. When Monique called for boycotting, she was asking people to boycott a broadcaster that airs masterpieces such as Black Mirror and Stranger Things, two shows that speak to and infuse the black community and wider society in general. Boycotting Netflix would mean losing the chance to watch these brilliant shows and wouldn't incur any direct advantage to the boycotter. So naturally, the boycotter chooses loyalty to the brand, which was Netflix. However, you wouldn't have anything to lose by deleting Snapchat, not when you have Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, and a plethora of other methods with which to broadcast your shenanigans. For that reason, Monique might have found it easier to persuade people to boycott a film rather than an entire network, because a network has too many tentacles with which to tickle the fancy of every member of an audience. But Snapchat doesn't have much to offer, apart from giving the opportunity for people to film themselves for 10 seconds at a time, and I'm not even quite sure what that magnetism is. Also, Rhianna herself is a brand. She has the makeup range, she Skin Foundation's Blew Black Women Away. And then there's her music and image, which has drawn her 60 million followers in Instagram, and both on Instagram and Twitter, I think it is. Or it might be more. Anyway, so how could Monique possibly compete with a walking, talking brand with social media clout who offers products and music which affects you directly? But hey, I mean, who really knows? What I do know conclusively is that in a short space of time, two women managed to coin a new term, the Monique effect versus the Rhianna effect. And that in itself is pretty impressive on both women's part. Okay, not so much Monique's part, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Anyway, this is One Black British Woman's Voice. Leave your comments below, and I'm out.